What's up, everybody on YouTube? AJ Russ back to discuss another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, are they about to win a championship this postseason in their first run together? So I know a lot to unpack from right here. Obviously, that statement and this title alone, a lot of people are about to be like, wow, I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you put in Kevin Durant along with Devin Booker, and even though Chris Paul is aging tremendously, he still is effective, a still effective player. And Devin Booker, of course, he's one of the rising superstars, all-stars in this league, been averaging 32 points per game since the All-Star break. So it's a fair question to ask with the playoffs shaping up, and there has been no really clear-cut favorite in the West, I would say. I mean, obviously the Denver Nuggets, they've been the first seed for the majority of the year. The Grizzlies right behind them, and then the Kings, third seed, but this is their first playoffs in 17 years, so we really expect them to do a lot in the playoffs. So with the Suns having Kevin Durant on their team, I mean, hey, there's a lot to be talked about there. At the time of this recording, it's Wednesday, so this will probably be out Thursday or something like that. The playoffs are going to begin next week, next Saturday on April 16th, I believe, if I'm correct, April 16th or 15th, and the play-in about to start as well. And there's a lot going on there. We're going to see who the 7th and 8th seeds will be. A lot of teams down there, the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, those are a few teams that could be potentially facing the Phoenix Suns in the first round. I really think a Warriors and Suns first round would be insane. Also the Suns and Clippers would be crazy too. A little rematch from the Western Conference semis in 2021. And Kawhi is, well, we'll think he'll be healthy, so he'll be actually be able to play in that series. But Kawhi, KD, or potential LeBron and KD matchup in the first round, or even KD going against the Warriors in the first round. Again, that would be really good. But we'll have to see then. And also the Warriors have Andrew Wiggins back, so that would be a really good series. Focusing back on the Suns though, they're undefeated with Kevin Durant in the lineup, and we know that they really don't have a deep bench because obviously they traded a lot of their assets to Brooklyn to acquire Kevin Durant, of course, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and some depth. But I mean, they're still a really effective team, and they have some solid role players, I would say. Josh Okogie, I mean, he's not one of the biggest role players in the league, but I mean, he definitely helps with them as well. Campaign off the bench still. They added in Terrence Ross from the buyout market, I believe. So they still have some okay pieces, I would say. And of course, you have Devin Booker. I mean, you can't really pay too much attention on Devin Booker because I mean, you have KD, and KD, he'll get buckets from all over the court. I mean, you just can't stop him. I mean, you can play the hardest defense you can. I mean, he's still going to get a bucket over you. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, you just got to tip your hat to him. But that's what Kevin Durant, as a presence, as a weapon, as one of the greatest scorers and greatest players of all time, that's what he presents and the type of threat that he is. So when you look at the Western Conference, I mean, really, I don't think anyone can, I would say, contain them. You can make a case for the Warriors, like I said before, with them getting Andrew Wiggins back, and then they also traded for Gary Payton. We know at the trade deadline that they'll have a similar type of defense as last year, but their team has just been too up and down this year, too inconsistent on the road. They have been so awful, have 30-plus losses on the road this season, the worst for a defending champion, not the worst, the most for a defending champion in NBA history. I mean, that is insanely terrible. And then of course the Suns would have home court advantage in that series, so I mean, one could make the argument that they would win in 4 to 5 games. I don't think that would happen, but you know, but I mean, you never know. I mean, you never question the heart of a champion. The Warriors do have 4 championships for a reason. I can't trust the Lakers because that team is too inconsistent still. I mean, they have gotten better from the trade deadline, adding D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, a lot of different role players, Malik Beasley, some players like that. I mean, that is a better team, but I feel like they need a whole season to gel together. Like, so say for instance they just run it back next year, I think they will be considerably better as long as they can stay healthy, and same thing with Anthony Davis. But I would definitely pick the Suns over them. And let's get into the top of the conference really, because I mean, that's the main thing, because like I said, there's been no favorite like the Eastern Conference, which we'll talk about in a second. In the West, I mean, I think that they'll beat the Nuggets. The Nuggets, I'm just still not convinced. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong to say that, but I don't think I'm the only person that believes that. I mean, the Nuggets, they made the Western Conference Finals, but that's in the bubble though, so that's really different. And we're not going to discredit the Lakers championship because regardless, that was an impressive championship. But I just don't trust the Nuggets right now. I mean, the Nuggets definitely do have the deepest bench in the league. They have a nice front court, not only with Nikola Jokic, of course, who's always a MVP favorite, which I think that award's going to go to Embiid this year, but we'll talk about that right now. Aaron Gordon, he's really good. Of course, you have Jeff Green coming off the bench, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown Jr., and of course Jamal Murray. That's really who I want to talk about right now. So before the NBA bubble, of course, we know in the bubble that he played crazy good in the playoffs, in the bubble specifically. But besides that, in the regular season and in the past postseason before the bubble and things like that, and of course before he got hurt, he had just been playing inconsistent. Even head coach Mike Malone had said that before. I mean, just playing inconsistent at times. If you're going to play at that superstar level, I feel like that's what the Nuggets will need to ascend themselves into being a real championship threat. But besides that, I'm just really not convinced all the way. Michael Porter Jr., of course, we can know he can score at all levels, but is his defense going to be there? That's a really good question. Christian Braun, he's a rookie, but I mean, he's a solid rookie. But I don't know. when looking at the Nuggets, I'm just not sure 100%. And then talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, we all know what happened with Ja off the court. I mean, we're just glad that he's back ultimately. He's young. He's, 23 years old? He's 3 years older than me. I mean, we all make mistakes, and we know what's right from wrong, and they're not worried about that. At the end of the day, they just want to play basketball. He just wants to play basketball, so let's talk about that. And the Grizzlies, I mean, I'm not sure. They're really unlikable because of Dillon Brooks. Love the way that he plays, like, defensively and his tenacity, but, I mean, they haven't done anything yet, and I respect, like, their grit, but, like, y'all have not done anything yet. They try to talk to the Warriors all the time, and Clay, he just lifts up the 4 rings, which, I mean, you really can't say too much about that. But, I mean, like, they act like they've done this before. I mean, they haven't won yet. So, until they win, I mean, I'm just really not convinced on them either. So, I think the Suns would beat them as well. So, when you really look at that in the Western Conference in the grand scheme of things, I mean, you can't trust the Clippers either. Of course, you have Kawhi Leonard, who's a proven champion, 2-time Finals MVP, former Defensive Player of the Year and things of that nature. But, I mean, on the Clippers, he hasn't done that. So, that's the biggest difference. And Paul George is hurt right now. So, there's a lot of questions there. So, one can make the argument that in the Western Conference, the Suns are honestly good. Remember, Ja was saying that I'm not worried about the West. We're good in the West. Well, the Suns can make that argument too because, I mean, they're playing with house money, playing great basketball right now. And, I mean, hey, no one's really a favorite right now. It's wide open. But when you go to the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks, they just clinched the first seed there. So they're probably the favorites right now, but also the Boston Celtics, I mean, they look dangerous. And even though Giannis didn't play, actually he did play in the game last week, that the Celtics were, I think they were up by almost 50 points against the Bucks. And the Bucks were playing off of back-to-back, but that was a crazy game. The Celtics look really good too. I mean, they're going to be there. And my thing is the 76ers, man. I think Joel Embiid is the MVP this year. I think he's finally going to get his first MVP. But, I mean, what are they going to do in the playoffs? So that's a lot of things there to talk about. I think that those 3 teams will pose the biggest threat for the Phoenix Suns. I feel like if they were to play against the 76ers, they could potentially beat them. But the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, that would be a tough one for me. Because like I said, the Phoenix Suns, they don't have a deep bench, and that'll be something they have to acknowledge in the offseason and going into the 2024 season is getting a better bench to surround those superstars, because you got to have a deep bench to win at the highest level consistently and for multiple years to come. Because I mean, I know that this team is going to be around for at least 2 to 3 more years, because Devin Booker is only 26 years old and you still have DeAndre Ayton, so that'll be your future for sure, and you can add to that in the future once Kevin Durant and Chris Paul are gone. But you can make the argument that Kevin Durant is still going to have a good 5+ years at playing at a high level, so you can still make the argument there. But like I said, I think the 76ers, I think the Suns could beat them, but the Bucks and the Celtics, I don't know, man, because the Celtics, they were in the finals last year and Jason Tatum didn't play the best. They said that he was dealt with a little lingering injury. That's okay, but we'll see this year. And I know if they make the finals again this year, they'll be trying to win. They're not trying to lose again because they're pissed because they lost last year. And the Bucks, if they won this year again, that's 2 titles in 3 years. I mean, that's really impressive, and that'll only solidify Giannis's legacy even more. We saw how he played in the finals against the Suns last time, but the Suns, they're not going to willingly lose to the Bucks again in the finals, and this time they have Kevin Durant, so KD will have something to say about that. I still think Kevin Durant is a better player overall than Giannis. Obviously all time, but I think if they play against each other, I think KD still has his number, but hey, Giannis could have something to say about that. That would be a really good finals, just having a rematch of the 2021 NBA Finals. I would really love that. I think a lot of people would love that, to see that go again with Kevin Durant on the squad. That would be really good, but I think that's where the biggest competition comes from the Phoenix Suns standpoint, and if they can win a title, it would have to be through them. I mean, like I said, they'll be the 76ers if the 76ers make the finals, but I don't think that's likely. But that's going to be a tough one right there. So if I'm asking a question right now, if the Suns are going to win in KD's first season, honestly, I'm going to say no. But crazier things have happened, and I wouldn't be surprised, quite frankly. I mean, I am a Devin Booker fan. I've been loving Devin Booker since I was 12, 13 years old. So he's my favorite shooting guard. Just my second favorite player right now in the league. Behind D-Rose. I mean, D-Rose doesn't play a lot right now, but we're not going to talk about that. Devin Booker, he's been one of my favorite players for a long time, and I would love to see them win. I was so mad when they lost in 2021, but I just don't think they're ready for it right now in this season. I mean, of course, Kevin Durant got traded there during the trade deadline, and then he had a little setback with that injury in the warm-ups, but I just don't think they're ready yet in this season. Now, I could be wrong for sure. They are undefeated with Kevin Durant playing right now after recording this video. They do play against the Nuggets tomorrow, so we'll see about that, but I mean, it really doesn't matter because we'll see what happens in the playoffs. I think that they can make the finals for sure. I think they can. Like I said, the West is wide open. There's no clear-cut favorite. But in terms of winning a championship, I don't think so right now. Not in 2023, because the Bucks, they look great. I just watched the Bucks play a second ago. They look great. And the Celtics, same thing. And Yeah, so if they play against either of those two teams, I don't think it's likely that they'll win. But like I said, crazier things have happened, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents on that. The playoffs are going to be really good on the Western Conference side. And like I said, the Suns, they can easily make the playoffs, especially if the Nuggets slip up or the Grizzlies slip up or teams like that potentially. Eastern Conference will be good too, particularly in the semifinals and in the conference finals, because it looks like the Celtics and the 76ers will play against each other in the second round. That'll be really good. And then potentially the Bucks will play the Knicks or the Cavs. So that'll be really good too. So on the Eastern Conference side, but the Western Conference in total, how close the games has been between like the 4 to 12 seeds for most of the season, and of course it's gapping out a little bit more now, and now teams are fighting for the 5th and 6th seeds going into the last games of the season. It's gonna be really good. So y'all let me know in the comments down below how you think this postseason is gonna shape out. Of course, I'm gonna make a playoff predictions video as soon as possible, probably coming next week for sure. But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think the Suns can win the championship this year? If you think it'll take a little bit more time, talk to me. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate you guys watching. Always make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, and also on TikTok at SwaggyRuss02 for more cooking videos, shorts, and TikToks and things of that nature. I just appreciate y'all. Always be blessed. I appreciate the support and hope y'all are doing well and being safe. Peace.